Welcome everybody to BeoTalk podcast number 11 already. Eric is back. Yeah.
Yay.
Well, that usually means nothing goes wrong because you're a lucky charm. So that's Willie. That's Eric.
Well, Chinook Mall had an IMAX for a long, long time, and then we had one in Eau Claire Market, which was downtown.
Yeah.
That one was demolished a while back, but that was the first theater that I have ever gone to in Canada. When we came in here, 1998. It was 99, I believe, when we went in. No, it was 98 when the Saving Private Ryan came out. That was the first movie I have ever seen. I saw it in
That
IMAX.
was a good movie.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck, that was unbelievable. Like, you know, coming from a town of 32,000 people, right? Like, we didn't really have a high-tech theater, so to speak, right? So you come in, you sit down, and, you know, like, in a fucking IMAX, like the 5-story screen, you know, like I lived in a building that was 4 stories high, you know what I mean? So it was huge, and just the experience, and yeah, obviously a whole bunch of people lost their cookies because the movie, you know, we all know how it starts. But yeah, it was definitely an experience. And then once I gotten into the B&O and bought a first TV, and I'm like, well, what is the point of going?
Yeah, because when I bought all my Bang Olufsen products and you have a good sound system, especially for movies, well, often people go to my house to see movies, and I often wait out if it's a good movie. I just wait it out till it's released on like Blu-ray 4K, so I can rent it on iTunes. Yeah, because
you can do whatever at home. That's a nice bit of it.
In the old shop, we had I had lap 5s and a set of 9s as a rear channels, and we had the 3s as it was a 7.0, I guess, theater. It was a BeoVision 12, and I don't remember which Iron Man movie it was, but it's the scene when he flies over, like from behind, over top of the screen and into the picture, and goes into the downtown, into the city, into the center.
Yeah.
And right at the very, very last second, all the speakers went to protection mode. We had to juice the shit out of it. Full beans, right? Full beans. And yeah, then all of it, like, and it happened in such instance where, like, I guess, you know, the action ends and whatever, you know, like some movies just cut directly into like a quiet dialogue scene, right? When there's like all of a sudden there's nothing but just the BV-12 was the only thing that was running. And then it just cuts, like the speak. I didn't even notice that they all went to they all just turned off basically, right? And it goes to the spoken word, and all of a sudden, like, you know, there's another action scene. Like, what the fuck? Where's the sound? I'm like, we noticed both speakers are blinking, right? I'm like, oh, penalty shot. Have to power cycle all of it, including the 9s. 9s don't blink; they just turn orange. They get pissed off.
They don't come back automatically.
Not when you put them in protection mode. When they go to protection mode, you need to power cycle the speaker.
Okay. Well, I never apparently managed to do that then.
Fudge. The only ones I never put in the protection mode are the 90s. Kid you not. They're the only speakers that they have it over top of my ears or my deafness. But I've put, well, I can't say for 50s because I never owned them yet. But most of the speakers, I've seen the orange LED.
I have a feeling the 50s will be roughly the same, as in, like, you go deaf before they go into protection.
Yeah, or they manage themselves that they won't really let themselves go that far, right? Where, you know, 5s, even though they were a smart speaker, like, the power link, you know, is a power link, like, they're still not really managed digitally inside that much, I guess. And yeah, you can, well, they are, because they turn themselves off when they just put too much. It's like, whoa, buddy, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to turn these things to blink and you need to reboot because you need to snap out of what you were into right now. That's basically, I think, what the protection mode does.
Well, to put it this way, if I go over volume level 55, I start to check if my neighbors are home or not.
I've done that a couple times where I go, like, when I really want to give her shit, I go for a walk. I go for a walk out front of the apartment here, and I just look whose lights are on. Because you can tell.
I did that one time with when I had the 9s and I lived in my studio apartment, and the neighbor upstairs was making very annoying sound in the evening.
In a studio?
Put him on.
Oh my god.
So student home, because every small apartments and student apartments are very small and stacked up. So cranked up the bass and let them have it, and almost went into my bathroom and just
holy cow.
myself in the blast.
Lab 9s in a studio apartment. Holy shit. That's awesome. Yeah, that must have rang all the wine glasses in the house, and not just yours. And that's one of those, when I listen to Pink Floyd, so do my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you have, 600 pounds of speakers.
Yeah. You know what, though? You just get carried away. Yesterday was one of those days that I got carried away. I just, fell asleep in front of them and just listened for a good 2 hours. So once I was
quite angry at when I found old CDs from the 90s, like E-Type and Big in Sweden, and there's the Eurodisco DJs. When I thought, remember when my sister had the boombox? Damn, there's a lot of bass in that. And now you put in the CDs. Well, it's not that much bass.
No, or I don't know, if my hearing was that much better back then, or
I don't know,
more susceptible to hearing bass frequencies.
It may have also been the tuning of the speakers you used.
Well, I had them in, obviously I had them tuned in, were you talking the 90s, or you were talking the
speakers back then?
Well, shit, it was a JVC tower, for God's sakes. There was no tuning. Yeah, there was no you know what, and when it comes to tuning, I understand what you're saying, because that's, I guess the biggest nemesis is my bass and treble. Because everybody just, it's not a sound unless that shit is turned up all the way on everything. I don't understand, and more or less that pisses me off in when you go to the car dealerships and you want to listen to the B&O system and everything's just cranked out. Why? But anyway, I digress. I always had it on flat, because I believe that let's listen to what they were listening to or how they tuned it, and then
I have the same.
But I never, and I guess that goes more or less thanks to my buddy Ivan back in Slovakia, where he is the reason why I gotten into the music the way I did get into the music, and I guess in the industry that I'm in dabbling now. But he was one of those that we always listened to tunes, and when you were recording back, tapes, right? Certain bias, and you make sure that the shit don't go to the red. And you record it in real time, and that's where I guess you appreciate the tune more than when you just watch a progress bar. So here's a funny finding with the lossless stuff. I don't know how it's probably transcoding. That's more or less what it is. But I have it's a terabyte I think it's a terabyte hard drive. There's about 780 gigs of music on it.
Yeah.
About 150 gigs of it is 192 24-bit. Some of them work on the V1, some of them don't. But all of my music that is on there has been ripped tediously through the BeoSound BeoMaster 5 back in the yesteryears when that was cool. And so all the metadata and everything is there, but the lossless back then was in fucking WMAs.
Yeah.
Not FLAC, but FLAC wasn't even invented back when the BeoMedia platform and all that was around. But the piss off is that it makes that music now very much incompatible with anything that you want to listen to, as far as your Eclipse won't really pull it up as a WMA.
That's why you should get an Oppo player, because it can play anything on that one.
Or get an Intel NUC.
Get a load of this. The V132 plays the WMA lossless files, and I'm able to join it with a Moment, which does not play lossless files. Or lossless, the WMAs. I don't understand how that works, but I can listen to the TV's hard drive that I've put in there and distribute that music throughout. So I guess there's got to be some transcoding happening inside the TV itself before it shoots it out into the outer.
Yeah, but isn't WMA one of the most used formats anyway?
It used to be, but now it's all FLAC, I guess, right? Or ALAC, or whatever else hipstery vegan way of converting this is.
But if you buy a regular CD now and you put it in your computer, if you still have a disk drive, doesn't it still read as WMA? The last time I did that with a CD, which was 2-3 years ago, it still read as WMA from the CD.
Yeah, but nothing plays it.
Okay. Well, get a NUC or an Oppo player.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, which is also, I think, ironic too, I have a 2015 A3 with a B&O system in it, Audi, right?
Yeah.
And my music that I've dumped on the 64-bit SD card, or 64 gigabyte SD card that I had, just like my greatest of whatevers, to throw it in there, to have it for, just for good inside the car, all of that music was copied from that particular hard drive. It works in my vehicle without any issues. We've tried it in my buddy's S7. No comprende. It doesn't read the WMA files. And all the newer ones, I don't think they even read it either. So I was one of the last ones that they used the old, audio engine or whatever for the cars. Because the new ones don't read the WMA files. Maybe they do now, don't quote me on it. I haven't tried for a few months now. But I know for a fact that
2013 and it reads just about everything.
Well, yeah, that's when the cutoff point was.
It's a Golf, so it's the same company, basically.
Of course. It would be the same innards, more or less.
Yeah. The weird thing was, though, that it read most FLAC files, but not all of them.
Yeah, I think I have the same problem with my Dyn audio system that did read some of the FLAC files, but not like 90% of all of them,
Yeah.
but not all of them.
So
speaking of reading, or I guess that's CDDB database, whatever, what I would like to toss out, if anybody is, whenever they listen to or whatever, whoever owns a BeoSound 5 and a CD ripper, when you do rip CDs, do you get the database pulled back or not? Like, do you actually have the CD information come up? Because I have a few clients that now are losing that privilege, I guess you could call it now. So all the CDs that you all the CDs that you rip show up as unknown. So that's just my question. If somebody else has a BeoSound 5 and has that same experience with it. I also noticed that if you go to the network settings on that, sorry to digress, guys. If you go to the network settings on there, even though the net radio plays, you can see it playing or hear it playing, I guess. Network connection says no. And I don't understand where is that faulty. So that's one of those things that I guess if anybody is listeing, toss it out there.
Regression testing. Somebody updated something and now it doesn't work anymore. I'm just changing a few things. I'm showing chat the BeoSound the BeoSound 5. But I forgot
that was an interesting. It readjusts us. That was an interesting. When I saw this in Denmark, that was an interesting display of, I guess, of steps of how they came about with that interface, the round circle interface, which was basically a Coke bottle, a mouse, and a whole bunch of Lego is how that was put together, and the interface with the levers and all that. So I have to give them that, because that interface, and especially with the USB correlating the movement to the screen, was very, as smooth as it could get for how old it is. But I still
nicely done.
Iconic player. I think that it's something that is committed on the wall or on the floor stand or a table or whatever, and it's where the music happens, where now no longer there is anything like that anymore.
Yeah, I think it looked best on the wall, personally.
Oh shit, yeah. Especially flat against the wall, which was kind of cumbersome to interface with the USB.
Because I like the wall when it's tilted, like.
Yeah, then it tilted. It looks very nice, but it also
it's still so futuristic looking. Like it's still modern, and it's almost weird that it's 10 years old, or what it is 10 years by now, isn't it?
It is 10 years old.
I don't know if it was some. I know that put. Because Adidas had an old BeoSound 5 and the Moment next to each other, and person didn't know which one was the newest, or both looks like they are brand new. So.
Well, yeah, because the glass doesn't age, aluminum doesn't age on those things. They just look spectacular. Obviously, the resolution of the display kind of dates it, but
the display is small enough that you don't really notice all that much.
You don't really notice it at all, no. But I think that if that BeoSound 5 was meant for not more than 5,000 songs, like, it's just put your best music on it, And a lot of people took a wrong approach to it, including myself, where I just dumped everybody's music from everybody, right? Because everybody's got everything everywhere. Why the hell do I need 155 box CDs, for God's sakes? I never listened to them. When the shit came up, it just irritated me, and I just, skip.
Yeah.
But then
put your best playlist on there and sort it out completely.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, though, I still feel the BeoSound 9000 is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like it still kills everything before and after it, because not only for connecting, because like that thing is self-contained. Like if you look around here on Google, there's so many boxes and wires, and to make it look, I don't know, effortless, there's kind of a lot of things that need to be done.
Yeah. No, I love the 9000. I think it's and
both the 9000 and the 3000. Both of them are iconic in their own way.
Mm-hmm. I like the 3000. I always wanted one, and I do have one, but I think
I still prefer it a little bit more over the 9000. I have two 9000. I have had the 3000 with a small disc player, and the 3200. I had the last one, but.
Why do you not
compact.
I guess the size, yeah.
The size, and I like the technical and geekiness when the doors open. It doesn't look like a CD player. The 9000, well, it obviously looks like a
CD player, yeah. 9000.
But the one thing I really like with the 9000 is, when the CD is spinning and when you stop it and go to the next one, the CD puts itself to the same position you put it in. So
exactly, it parks itself proper. No, I really, it was such a well-designed machine.
I helped my coworker to get a 9000 that he has wanted to have for years and years, and now in the second-hand market is finally, I can buy that now. And I got him a very cheap one, and good example, that was the Mark III generation.
Nice.
And the only thing he really wanted was to have his CDs go back to
what they're supposed to
so
go.
it would be perfectly with his like classical music with Mozart, and this go
just all lined up. Oh
yeah.
God! But you know what though? That is what's cool about those, about that CD player.
Small things.
3200 has the smallest one.
Yeah.
I remember mine being smaller, so maybe it's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a 3000 or a 3200. They had, they probably was like maybe 3-4 centimeters wide. It didn't cover
and then
How old is that thing
second
now?
generation.
Well,
that must have been
one?
20 years. Well, the first one, because
I think it's 91.
91 or 92, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
was the first.
That's nearly 30 years old by now. Bloody hell, it still looks fantastic.
You gotta take your hat off when you walk into the room with it. Or that's in the room. Yeah. How you doing, Grandpa?
I wish Bang & Olufsen looked a bit more at their old-fashioned designs that still look so new, because if you put this in front of anybody that has no clue and you ask them, when do you think this is designed, who's going to say the 80s?
Yeah, it was like when my Beo sent the 9000, when I had it like 10 years ago or 7 years ago, when my friends looked at it and they still thought it was new. Yeah. It looked very new, and with the touch buttons, and the same with the Redline speakers. Great sound and very modern looking. So
yeah, the Redline
late
depends,
80s
I guess,
and
which ones
early
you
90s
have.
is very futuristic. Best design, I think.
Yeah.
I think the best designs were when David Lewis was around, and I think that's what David Lewis has done an excellent job with, is that he domesticized a lot of the speakers. Like I've had women that like lap 5s. There's not many that do, but there's like, these are cool speakers. I could see them in my house. Where you put two
but the 8000
squares. And
everybody likes them. Even when
that was an iconic piece, right? Those were the, I guess they're the sacred speaker of B&O as far as the design is concerned.
Yeah.
Those in the 9000, that's just the ultimate, I think, the ultimate system.
There's a guy here in Holland that reupholsters 8000s and 50s and whatnot, and you can pick any color. Movies like Terminator 2 are classics. Like the sound design again is fucking fantastic. Michael Bay did a fantastic job on that. It still holds up today. And it is.
I
what
love
is
the
it?
scene when
Late 80s, early 90s?
90s. Wasn't like 92 or 90 or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Especially the scene when he's riding his motorcycle and his motorbike, and in that pavement, or
yeah.
especially when he's shooting his shotgun, is reloading.
Oh
That
yeah, the
sounds
LA
LS
River.
92.
Yeah.
That was. You know what's funny? I bought the remastered or redone version of the Terminator 1, and they should not have done any of that shit with the sound. The sound, like, it just doesn't match anymore. Like the quality of the picture and the era where it was in, and it's funny how, like, there's too much. Like, you can fix something to a point where it's good, and then you can make a freaking Asian variant of a Honda Civic on it, right? Where you put a huge aluminum grill on the back or wings, and you just ruin the car. Or and essentially in the same token is that you overfix it, and then the movie goes to hell. Because it's just like, not that it's unwatchable, but it becomes comical now, right? Because these sounds are just like, no, that's not how it used to sound. I've seen this movie 17 times over, So
it's the same with the remastered Star Wars. What is it? 4, 5, and 6. It's like almost like, oh, this is bad.
But have you seen the true original old stuff from the 70s? Because that's not very good either. Because they did a remaster in like 95 or 97, and that thing is quite alright, I think. But
yeah, I saw the original VHSs and whatnot they sold back in the day.
Yeah, I had those.
I held one in my hand the other day in a pawn shop. And if you wanted to turn it down, you put one.
Beo was one of the first ones that had a great stereo needle, wasn't they? Because I think I saw that on the Struve Museum. They had a old record player that they advertised as one of the best or first stereo needles.
Well, yeah, they also used an almond-shaped principle, so it wasn't really a point. It was more or less divoted, so it wouldn't. If you did bump the needle, it wouldn't stretch the record. Right?
They had DJs in mind for the.
Yeah.
On your linear tracker, fudge.
Like you literally see the vinyl shavings coming off it every time you spin.
When I had my BeoCord 6500 with the built-in app, you could hear the difference between the number 4 needle and the number 1, 2, and 1, I think.
Oh, well, MMC1 was, yeah.
Yeah, the one I had it was very cool to have a 80s, vinyl player, record player, and have them with the best needle and play them through the BeoLab 5s I have. Old versus new was very cool, and get this perfect audio. Yes.
How did it sound?
Sounded very, very good, I think.
Well, through the 5s, so I think it would be good.
I mean,
speaking of old school, I sent you on the Dropbox. There's the picture number 12. That's the one that I had my 5s in the BV9, and you can tell that they get in the way quite a bit with the staircase. I was the only fan of that system.
Yep. Showing it now.
Yeah, I have to wait 12 seconds before it shows up here.
Sorry,
everybody
it takes
else. A little bit. Oh no, it takes a little bit time to get in there.
Yeah.
And then the one before that, the number 11, that was my bedroom when I put a 65-inch TV, and there was a 465 and a set of 8 and a 4, 8,000s, 4,000s, and a lap 2 I had in there. And that room.
The Vision 9 is big.
It is big, and it's heavy.
Those bezels, man. Yeah, damn.
It looks cool, though.
Yeah,
I like the acoustic lens. I like.
The lens looked good on it. Yeah, I gotta give you that. I still like that
on
feature.
television. Yet the BeoLab 5 is more balanced. It has more power, and yet it's more balanced than the 9s, I think.
But the Lab 9s have a better tweeters than the 5s, as far as
maybe that.
That's new material, probably a bit stiffer again and lighter.
The magnets are bigger as well. Like I've had.
But the mid-range isn't as good, because the mid-range on the 5s is still better than the 20s, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely, easily.
Long ways, for sure. But they are.
I had the same experience when I listened to them because I was considering 20s or 5s or 50s. And with the 20s, it's like, I hear the bass, I hear the tweeter. Where's the mid-range? It was, compared to the other two, it was like, where's it gone? It's
like they're almost not tuned properly, or they're just missing a bit.
Yeah, and people ask me if I should get the 20s and the 5s. I mean, if you like the sound of the 20s and you hear the 5s, you're gonna love the 5s because that's more mid-range and more true sound quality, I think.
Yeah, and this is my bedroom that is just come up, and that's the 9000 on that wall.
8,000s up front, 4,000 in the rear.
And then the BeoSound 3 there for the timekeeping purposes, because it really has no other purpose nowadays, just show time.
I see a BeoLab 2 down here in the bottom.
Yeah, there's a BeoLab 2 and a Lab 10, which is the most hated speaker, I guess, in some places, but I really like the sound of it. And yeah, that TV wasn't...
Why was it the most hated?
It was the mounting mechanism, wasn't it?
Not even the mounting, but a lot of people didn't like... We never sold one in our store. Because
I like the design of it.
I like the design of it too, but it was a lot of people like, nah, I like the triangle, and and then either people would go for a 7.6 or a 7.1, right, to make it, I don't know why, or they would just simply get a 7.4 with the TV.
You have to have your TV quite high, although, but the sound bar goes down very.
The TV was quite high, and I liked it because I was laying down when I was watching it. So when you want it high up because you don't want to look over your toes and stuff, and B, it was just about the right height for like the viewing angle. But the heat output on that TV just killed, man. It just killed. Like this thing, you watch a movie in there with the windows open, and otherwise you're dying, suffering.
Yeah.
Turn on differently during the day and during the night. Which makes sense because then you're not blinding yourself. John Dude is saying Eclipse has a black stand.
Yeah.
The words, you know what? That's a dust magnet like a mofo. That's
Did we go over that last week or before? Because I remember saying something. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it was a black floor stand with the Avant, That
was the Avant 75 or whatever the heck it was, but they put that brass stone ring in the center though, around the pipe.
The pole.
Not a full black.
Now the pole really kind of looks like a stripper pole, but
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I do like it, but it has to have. You have to have a design in your house where that really fits.
It has to allow for it, of course. You just can't just plop it in anywhere randomly. Like if you were to do that with the aluminum in natural, because that absorbs whatever color. But I don't know. It's just sometimes like I hope you're right later, because you're not right now.
Yeah. I think the Avant floor stand was a little bit better when it was completely black because it looked more mean. Now when they have the brass in the middle, it doesn't fit our TVs or.
No, well, they pronounced it brass because at the end of the day, I guess with the Avant, if you were to, for the sake of the argument of it all, you buy in a brass tone TV that you never see the brass tone off, really, right? Because in the Avant, or I guess in the Avant per se to begin with, you could only see it in the speaker when you're standing in front of it. Yeah. If you have it mounted on the wall somewhere in the millwork, then whatever the color of that is, that just, that absorbs it anyway, so that's gone. And on the Eclipse,
it's even less if you call it the brass tone and the bottom is black.
Yeah, exactly. So for the Eclipse, it makes sense that they would just pronounce it, I guess, from the back or from the front side on the pipe, because there is nothing else that you're going to see it on, right?
Maybe silly question. Is the back aluminium bits of this TV also brass then?
Yes.
Brass, yes.
Yeah, it's all brass.
I haven't seen it in real life yet. Have either of you?
No, and I'm not really keen on... I see what the brass tone looks like. It's not my favorite color of the metal, to be honest with you.
John said the same about the 50s in brass. I can't say I like that, personally.
I like them.
Well, he actually said he didn't like the 50s in brass, but I can't say I like that either. That look.
Well, Eric, you like the gold ones anyways. You already have the gold 4000, so you can't really backpedal.
Yeah,
much.
I like the brass color, and I like the old times when the 8000 and the most of the Bang Olufsen product came in that aluminum.
But that was gold
finish.
color.
Yeah, gold, and I also had the blue and the red. I like those colors, but I think it's hard to put them in your home. You really have to have nice everything around them to fit. It's hard to put like blue speakers and brass speakers.
You could afford to do that in a house that is more or less predominantly white.
And those fake marble lines in the front when you drive in.
and it gives you something to get away with.
But what I would like to Bang Olufsen to do now, when they do the aluminium and the brass, to have a complete white and a black. Like the piano black or matte black they have both the BeoLab 18s and now the BeoSound, is it 1? They're releasing the piano black, yeah. So we like to Bang Olufsen to always have the normal polished aluminum.
Well, but you know what? Like, to me, that whole piano black thing is, why are we calling black color a piano black, which was a standard diamond polished black anodized coating on the regular set of 8000s? Now, since the unicorns of the Lab 5s, when they became the piano black, which I thought they were lacquered till we got them in, I'm like, well, fudge, these are freaking diamond polished black anodized, man. So, yeah, I get it, but
well, they could have done Vanta black. Have you ever seen anything Vanta black?
Phantom black,
no, Vanta. I think it's VANTA. It's the blackest black. If you look at it, it absorbs all light, so it almost seems like it's a negative image of what you're looking at.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's super strange. So you literally, it's so black, you don't see anything anymore. So if you have like a sculpture that is black, you only see the outline of whatever is behind it. Even if the back behind it is a normal black, you see that outline.
That's crazy.
So there are differences in black. There's more than one black. Piano black to me means high gloss black.
Yeah, high gloss. And I would like to see that and a white.
Oh, like polished white?
Yeah, polished white or matte would also like. I'm very satisfied and happy with the BeoLab 4000 I have for computer speakers in gold now.
Oh, you gotta
have them on the show behind me, but now I have them in my computer with my iMac. Yeah.
Nice. How's the sound?
Amazingly good. I have to turn the volume down on the iMac because the first plop or the first indicator is very high for that setting. So.
Oh wow!
I have to turn it. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
They're very underrated. I think the BeoLab 4000 is a very good speaker, especially now when the second-hand market are making them.
I think they're better than 6000s.
Yeah,
they're definitely better than 6000s. As far as the bass response and the depth.
More easily to place around the house and better bass and much better.
Yeah, they're nice and slender.
Yeah.
But not as
something to show to you guys, and you'll see it in a mo. Thanks, John. This is that upholstery guy I put John in touch with. Made white covers for the BeoLab 50s, and they actually look fucking fantastic.
No shit.
Yeah.
I like my white.
I can share this again. You'll have a few seconds before it updates.
Yeah, like 12 seconds for me.
Sorry about that. But dear God, this is beautiful. I mean, Eric, you'll love this. Like,
yes,
I'm pretty sure you'll ditch
time to get him.
You want to ditch your 5s and get this because it's even whiter.
Oh man! Oh!
Oh,
damn!
Is it showing yet?
Yeah. See, that's what they should like. If that was what it's come up
pictures.
Like. Yeah, go through them.
Fudge. I would get the 50s like that.
Yeah.
That would match my 90s perfect, man. This is the speaker that I would get.
How much is the redone on the fronts or the fabric?
If I remember right, I think it's 200 or so per side, or per like cover. So it depends if you have the wood backs. Since this one is white all round, it's a bit more, obviously.
That looks so good. That looks exactly what I thought it would. But they just wouldn't do it that way, I guess.
And there's one more, everything in white.
Yeah, but imagine that one with the white frets and the white fabric cover, and the body would be completely piano black or gloss black. Would look very, very cool.
That would get a nice contrast to it, but I dig them as they are right now hard.
Yeah, me too, but
shit.
I think this actually looks better than what
sick.
Bang & Olufsen came up with themselves, quite honestly.
yeah.
I would agree with you on that. That is unreal. I really like the 50s in white. Son of a bastard.
Yeah. My girlfriend wouldn't like me to watch them at the moment.
Yeah, now we're getting all fucked up here.
I mean, they just...
Oh, B&O, why wouldn't you do something that makes sense?
Well,
Thanks, John, once again for sending me the pictures.
Yeah, thanks for ruining us now.
Yeah, I blame you now when if a girlfriend gets angry at me, I blame you.
I mean, don't forget the light in the tweeter stays on, and that's also white.
Yeah.
I know. It looks so good. They look so good in white.
I have to send us some picture of that.
I can send it to you as well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have something to convince your girlfriend other than this podcast.
Yeah, I really do.
you need some tangible.
Yeah.
Oh man, they are spectacular looking.
Yeah.
Spectacular looking.
They would fit very nice with my
Eric,
real
sorry.
18s. Yeah.
Wheel the fives to the garbage.
Plus, you actually get some floor
yeah.
space back, as they're not as wide as the 5s.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess not, but
It's much more practical to buy the 50s.
Indeed, it is. Yeah.
Oh, that looks so good.
But
That
look,
looks
darling,
so-
how much space we say now?
So, Eric, how's your bank account?
Well,
Is it swelling or shrinking? Because mine is gonna.
You know what? If you like them all white, you can actually save some money and order the cloth covers all round. Because the oak backs are more expensive.
Of course they are. They're way more expensive. I really like that. Yeah. That's gonna suck.
yeah, I'm just sitting here.
Just screwed right up.
It is possible, yeah, it is possible.
That versus that.
Oh, yeah. There's
This is
way more.
Yeah, plus they end, like... See?
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, for the venting?
Yeah, so in this one, the bass driver is... Even the high one is lower than the bass driver up front. Because it's just sort of...
Yeah, they had to scatter them because of the magnets and everything
Yeah.
else that you got at the back of the speakers, right?
But I must say, this is the only speaker where it's super easy to pull the cover off. And it's actually quite
Yeah.
tight
Yeah,
still.
the 18s is quite hard, especially to pull them back on again.
Yeah, so what's that around, the triangle around the tweeters? Is that foam?
Yeah, just some foam to keep the dust out, I feel.
But with my luck, I maybe could get a pair that will work.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, yeah.
The only one that's gonna get it working.
Bloody hell, probably.
Maybe 3 months ago.
I'm
Yeah,
still,
you
I'm
never
still
know.
so annoyed that it's taken this long.
Oh, dude, my buttons are gonna come out when the TV is discontinued. You didn't know that?
Probably,
They announced
yeah.
End of life, and that's when. Well, that's what happened with the 14 started working right after they.
I got the second
Hold on.
remote. I got the second generation remote when they have 4 my buttons. I got
Yeah.
it just because they have one more by my button because I have them programmed. I like to have different options. And now when I got the Eclipse, there's none of them working. So it's fun to have something to press when.
Something to press. It's like when you can click the pen when you have nothing
Yeah.
to do. This is an OCD button.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope it comes out soon though. But I gotta say, my client is just as happy as I'm with the TV because it freaking the picture is over the moon. And
Yeah,
especially like
when I talked to
coming.
Michael, was it this Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still more happy with the Eclipse than Avant. The picture quality and the sound quality, and how easy to use it is to use in the menus and everything. I think it's still better.
I agree with you on the picture quality with the comparing to the Avant versus the Eclipse. I definitely there is no comparison. Like even the 4K, there's no comparison to the quality of the picture.
For picture quality is still the BeoVision 11. I mean,
Yes.
It may not be 4K, but from like 6 feet away, you can't really tell that much anyway.
Not on the 11. 11 was a superb television.
Yeah. So, the sound is definitely better, hands down, but I'm still, I don't know. It's not complete. And this is, I guess the second TV now that's incomplete from launch and in major ways. And I do like the LG bit is fairly easy to use. I'll say that, but you can't still use everything, which is really annoying.
Well, what I don't like is the fact that we had Bluetooth support for headphones in the 14 and Horizon.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
And now, the answer that I got essentially is the Bluetooth module is inside the LG's panel. And we as B&O can't control it, so therefore we just ask for it to be disabled. Which I think it's a horse shit on a stick. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you disable
people
that?
with LG C7s can actually listen to BeoPlay headphones. But
yes.
we with Eclipses cannot.
No.
And that's
insulting
fucking
to me.
Yeah, that
stupid.
sucks. Yeah.
That's insulting to me.
Because I had someone that told me it was maybe it was going to be released, but it was very early. So I don't know if they have stopped producing something and have gone back to the drawing board when they have seen what's happened to the Eclipse or whatnot. I don't know, but
What's a B&O drawing board is my opinion. Like what is that fucking Etch-a-Sketch? Like what is a drawing board at B&O's right now?
It's that idea center where people play with mood boards and stuff like that.
Well, I hope the floors are padded.
Not the walls where they slam their head against.
No, just the floors when you fall down, so we're not liable. No, I don't know. Like I hope that I really wish for a BeoMaster if I were to, or BeoMaster or an Audio Master essentially of some sort.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really hoping for something like that, which I don't think will happen. More or less to me, it's a pipe dream than anything else. Yeah, and I had to move the moment into my bedroom for two reasons. A, there's no freaking IR support anymore, so my BeoTime and the entire gateway morning macro sequences are out the window, so I had to move the moment there. And secondly, it does not the Eclipse doesn't support the integrated setup anymore. Therefore, I
fix
can't
that instead of
fix it.
take off the BeoSound moment off the line. Fix the BeoSound moment instead.
I take the moment now that how I listen to music now, and this is it's different now because I could integrate it with the V1, but like I said, the IR is the problem. Till the BeoSound shape comes in because I bought the 8-tile system.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to see what that's going to sound like. And
Any idea when you have that?
The 16th, so 2 weeks from now.
Okay, start a YouTube channel and film it.
I'm gonna borrow the camera from my sister, the GoPro, and I want to try to do the actual time lapse of the install.
Yeah.
Speaker tiles equals to 1.5 BeoLab 17s as far as the acoustical output is concerned, from what I've been reading up. So they should have some good punch for the money, and essentially the 4 tiles cost me as much as the I guess the 17s on floor stands if you think about it.
On another note, by the way, of stopping producing good stuff, the BeoSystem 4, according to the Beo World Forum, is now end of life. So that probably
I think it will be a Beo 5 on that one.
I just hope they come up with something. I honestly, I think if there is any chance of successor, I think BeoSystem 5 would have the better chance than the TVs. Because you can just buy a panel that is cool.
Yeah.
And,
but you can almost leave the video processing out of it. It just basically needs an HDMI or something in where it strips the sound and whatnot off it, and then go from there and have some power link connectors.
Well, we're also moving away almost from the puck control as well, in a sense, right?
Yeah, but most other brands have that already. Like LG has a sort of puck control. Samsung now has it. It's almost like, why do you need it on both ends? It's almost I mean, it was very forward and future thinking when Bang & Olufsen first sort of introduced it, but it's almost pointless now.
Well, yeah, depending on which device you're using, right? Like, it still makes sense if you're using an older player of some sorts, but in the same token, all the new generation stuff that has the, you know, the communication protocol over the HDMI, what is the point of it?
Yeah, I mean, all the newer Blu-ray players have the option for that. For like HDMI CC and whatnot, and back when the Vision department was actually alive in Bang & Olufsen.
Oh yeah, that's back in the day when things worked properly, and they.
There's nobody there anymore in the Vision department.
I don't think so.
They're now the ideas people.
That's right. Probably
the fucking hipsters. Those ads drive me up the wall.
Now for all those stupid BeoPlay ads is what they have done with it.
I almost felt like unsubscribing over the past week on Instagram.
Yeah, me too, because they're only pumping out these weird videos where they're sitting in and like, look at that one.
What's with the girl with the, you know, that fuzzy peach, the Sinead O'Connor looking with the book, the orange and the flower over top of her head?
I saw that. I think I told you that on Friday. I didn't even notice she was wearing headphones. I was like, what the fuck is this flower about? Why is there a book? And on the second take, it's like, oh, it's about the headphones. It's about the new i3s or 3i's or whatever. Ear
sets or whatnots. Yeah, like I just looking at like, what is that? Like, I understand the art, and I guess that's the point of it because we're fucking talking about it. But what is like that? What does that communicate? Like, where do you have ever seen a person with the book orange and a fucking flower on their head listening to headphones, thinking to themselves like, what else could I do with my life?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just. But I don't know. I guess it works.
I guess.
I guess it works. I'm like, I don't know, man. Though those ads, you're better off buying it directly off the website because I can't keep up with carrying all the goofy variants of all these colors that they keep changing every 2.5 weeks.
Like brown and bronze and silver.
Fucking
and
yogurt
aluminum.
doesn't expire as fast as the colors that they are doing now. Like it's seriously too much.
Very good. Yeah.
Actually, I have all those 3 colors. The bronze.
I like the hazelnut color on the H8.
I wasn't sure it was possible, but you actually have too much Bang & Olufsen stuff, Willie.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Every
time we talk about something, I had that. If you can't buy that, well, I had that, and I have 2 of them.
I have 2. You know what? It's funny because a lot of my clients make fun of me and like, why do you have everything of 2? I'm like, because you're gonna buy one. That's why.
I know.
I've learned a long time ago that I can't just own one of something. Because at some point, somewhere, someone's gonna ask for exact same thing, and most of the time, what happens? They just keep prying it out of my hands till I let go. So that's why I buy 2 of things.
I saw a documentary
right now.
saw a documentary on the Lego company, and they have every original box hiding in some archive. And I think you have almost the same thing with Bang & Olufsen. Have the archive. This is
the era from this decade. But
on another note, on something actually Bang & Olufsen, not Lego, did we ever think AirPlay 2 would come out late this year? That's what they said anyway.
I haven't even heard anything about AirPlay 2.
They posted it on Twitter. I saw it on Instagram. It's supposed to be late September, October somewhere.
Something on the forum, AirPlay 2.
Like most of their stuff, like the A9 and whatnot, will be upgraded for AirPlay 2, like Apple AirPlay 2.
But isn't that a chip? Like, isn't that a hardware?
Apparently, the chip is already capable. They're just updating the software. I mean, I was I don't know. Somebody asked like, it said September, October. So the first question was, when is it out? So that's they responded.
Well, no, in B&O it's gonna be March.
So they said September, October. So I replied on Twitter that is that a hard promise or is that like a promise you make with all other software? And they haven't responded. And it's been like 4 days now.
There's hard keys and soft keys, and there's also soft promises and hard promises with B&O.
Yeah, I mean.
So what's the difference with the AirPlay 2 then? Is it going to be multi-room streaming?
Yeah, and you can like shout at it like, "Hey Siri." Nothing happens.
This is so dangerous nowadays to say any of this shit online. I swear to God. I was rewatching the podcast the other day, the number 10, and exactly at that moment when I said somebody's gonna be sorry, I'm gonna be sorry, and I did that. Hey Google, and did my thermostat, and I so sure shit changed my thermostat as I'm watching the podcast for the second time.
Let's hope first Bang & Olufsen first and foremost gets their software right. I mean,